right. So, Ken, I've gotten a bunch of work done this week. Actually, I've actually gotten some legit work done. Almost getting caught up to where you're at, which is pretty cool. So what I got done in this last week is I actually managed to get all of my window sections put into place, and the masking last time it worked really well. Like the masking itself worked really well for everything else except for the first two that I did. But it was a learning experience, and as we were worried about the part that I had to use the extra thin, the Tamiya, to bond together when it was ripped, wound up coming off. I was trying to be ginger with it, and so I had to use quite a few shims and everything to kind of get it put in place. I sanded down too much, but other than that, the rest of the window boxes or the window little inserts, I guess we should call them, went in really, really well. Um, this one has a little bit of a gap on either side, over sanded, um, over sanded there too, and then I over sanded there. So I did this one first, and then I did this one, and then I did that one, and then I finally did this one. Let's focus up, and it actually went in real nice. And
That one
so
looks like it's in there really well.
yeah, I definitely now the one thing I kind of noted in the video that is actually going to be coming out tomorrow. I noted that putty work and doing this sort of thing is something that is still kind of like a learning thing for me. I'm still practicing and getting my technique down. So I took your tip and plunged in from the rear side here to get my lower, I guess it would be the warp engine crystal or whatever we want to call it. I plunged in from the backside, as one says, and got that taken care of, and it went really well. Overall, the masking itself using the little masks as templates was perfect. Overall, pretty pleased. I just once again a bit of a learning experience for me. So, but yeah, that's what I've gotten done this week, and then my plan is really to get all of my turrets taken care of. And I know that this is going to be a lot of work because we're going to have to sand it down and then rescribe the line and then get our little beads put in place. So that's the name of the game for me coming up this week. How about you, Ken?
Well, Jordan, yeah. So this past week, I managed to get my phaser ball turrets put in. You'll see that I got the lines scribed back in between them. So, do you have a scribing tool?
I do not. I'm going to order one, however.
Yeah, this Tamiya one here, really handy. If you buy one, remember, people, there is a back in here with a spare blade.
Nice.
So keep that in mind. But yeah, no, that's what I used. You'll see I managed to putty my around all my windows. I did a basic first round of putty, and if I line this up here, I did fix this big gap I had here.
Awesome.
So by moving this whole thing forward, shimming, that sort of thing. And then, yeah, I got my bottom. Yeah, I don't know what to call this. You can clearly see it doesn't line up with the impulse crystal, but I still call it the impulse crystal. So anyway, I got it installed, and yeah, that's what I got done last week. This week's going to be a lot easier. I'm mostly, well, I say easier. It's going to be less for people to see. Unfortunately, it's going to be sanding and puttying all around all the windows, across all the front here, and kind of get that as close to perfect as I can. And I'll probably put down the photo etch that goes here, and I'll see if there's any other photo etch that needs to be put on, but I don't think there is. So, I also drilled out a hole in the bottom.
Oh yeah.
So that we can pass lights. I called it the. If you look at it, I call it the belly button. Kind of looks like one.
Love it.
And then, oh yeah, you know what? I also did, Jordan. I drilled out all my my lights here.
Oh yes, excellent.
So, and they are everywhere on this ship. I wasn't sure how big to go, but with that many lights, don't ask me how many there are, and certainly don't ask Captain Picard, because if you ask Captain Picard, he's always got the same answer. And, you know, there's obviously more than 4.
I love it. I love it so much.
So that's about the excitement that I'm going to be dealing with. I must say, people watching these videos, we edit them heavily because there would be hours of content of us just sanding out windows, sanding down these ball turrets and stuff. It's stuff that takes a lot of time. So what you're seeing is the end product, which is hopefully a little bit easier to digest and enjoy.
Exactly. Yeah, that's great. No, that's exactly it. Like, it's kind of a deviation from how I normally will record scale models, is I try to show everything that I'm doing, but in this case, like, it's just really difficult to do so because there's just so much like cutting and then sanding and then sanding and then fitting and then sanding, and then it's just kind of like one of those things where like you kind of need to just like do the work and then show the results. So, nah, great. I'm glad you put that in there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I think we're ready for the next week of the build. I think I'm ready to go. How about you?
Yes, I am. But I must say, everybody, remember, help control the moose population. Get your moose spayed or neutered.
God, I love it. All right, let's get to building, shall we?
All right, let's get at it. All right, so I'm going to start with the puttying here. As you can see, I already have the puttying around the windows to begin with. I am going to throw a little bit more around some of these seams because it will have sunk in a little bit as it dried. So I'm going to go around and do that. And this time now I'm going to use just straight the thicker, putty in a thicker state because I'm not trying to inject it into the crevices anymore. So I'm going to go around and add some putty and I'll be letting it dry. All right, so it's been about a day and a half or so here, and this is really dried up nicely. So now I can begin to sand. And this is just going to be the first kind of layer. I may have to do 3, maybe 4 times. We'll see how it goes. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to be using a sanding sponge. Or sanding paper would be another good alternative because I don't want to start generating little flat spots. I may get lucky, but better to avoid it. So this is, I think this is a 280 grit. You can get these at your local hobby store, I know. To me, a brand is a brand I'm aware of, and I'm sure there's others. So I'm just going to cut off a segment and cut that in half. There we go. So we'll just start with this and we'll start going over what we got. Just gonna come here and try to just chisel off all this stuff here. I accidentally kind of went too much. No. I'll take a sanding stick to this part, because it is a flat surface here, and just, we can sand off that extra there. Not an issue. There we go, looking better. I do have a bit of a extra amount there, so I'm going to come in here just with the sanding stick just to knock that down. There we go. Now it's getting knocked down. Now back with the sanding pad. So that's looking much better. So yeah, we're gonna have to work on this transition here. And this side a little bit as well, but not too bad. Alright, well I'm going to continue sanding the rest of it. Right here we'll have to work on. And yeah, back here as well a little bit. A bit of a divot right in here. Alright, I'm going to carry on. Alright, so I've kind of sanded all my puttied areas, and I think I'm ready to do another round of puttying. Now I did come in here just a short while ago, and I put in some perfect, no, not perfect plastic, just the Vallejo plastic putty just back here, just to get something in there. But the rest of this I will be going back to the Tamiya white putty. And some areas need it more than others. Some areas turned out good, some areas turned out, you know, not so much so. So like this looks good here, but I can feel a slight bump. So, and then here I can feel this corner feels a little low. So I'll have to work on that. And then this side's not bad. And this side's got a little low spot. If you can see that or not, just a little low spot right there in the seam. So I'll add some more putty and let that dry, and then keep on sanding. Okay, for these areas here, around these windows up on the top of the hull, what I've been doing, so I've been taking some of my white putty here, because it's not as easy to just slap on as it is around the front windows and the side windows. What I do is I take some of this with a toothpick. It'll work quick because this stuff will start to dry pretty quick. And then I just put it in on there and just kind of get it in the area I want, like that. You know, try to be as clean as I can, but that's okay, because what we'll do after, I'll show you. So I'll just kind of get it through here. I'm not too worried if I get some on the front, even though there is all this fine detailing here. So again, we just keep coming in here, layering it down there, up here, along the sides in here. I can come in here and just put some there, along this side, just like that. I would just go around and do all the windows like that. I've just finished doing them. So this is just kind of like showing you. Now, I'm going to get rid of this tape so I don't put my hand in it. Next, what I'm going to do is take some Q-tips and some, I'm using Mr. Color thinner, so this is a lacquer thinner. I find the lacquer thinner gives me the best result. So I just get my Q-tip wet, and then I can just come in here and I can just kind of wash it away, and at the same time I'm pushing it, the rest of the putty, into that gap, just like that. And I can take my dry side and just like that. There we go. You do tend to go through a lot of Q-tips this way, but don't know what else you could do. I mean, I guess, other than Q-tips, yeah, I'm not too sure. Other fluids you could use, probably isopropyl alcohol would could give you a good effect too, I would think. Worth a try if you have some. I'm just using this because I know it's here and I know it works. So there we go. Just like that. Now, for the stuff that got on the face here, I'm not gonna, you don't panic or anything. It's just fine. What I'll do is I'll come across here and just wipe it away like that. And then you can see I got some in a window here. I don't want to close that window off, so I'll poke it out and clean out the putty because I don't want any putty in there. Same with these round windows, just like that. And then keep cleaning. Coming up my dry side. Come in with a bit of the clean part off. Not really too much clean left on there on the lacquer side. There we have it. Just like that. See, got a little bit more in that window. Right here. There we go. If you want, you can go over it one more time with the lacquer thinner. And it does a nice job cleaning up. Just get at this corner one a little bit. And it'll, having it nice and neat like this will make your job sanding, coming here to sand, so much easier. You'll have less work to do. So that's what I do. So now I'll wait a while here, and I think in the meantime I'm going to try and put on this photo etch. So I'll get that all ready and we'll be right back. Alright, so I'm ready with my photo etch here. I have the ParaGrafix set here for the 537 Reliant. So they make good photo etch. It's actually this photo etch though is fairly thick. But you can see here, here's the templates if you needed to drill out your windows. So what I'm going to be using right now is just photo etch piece number 7, which is just going to go back on here. So I've cleaned up my putty now, so that's been cleaned up, ready to go. So what I'll do is I'll grab my piece of photo etch. You want to cut it on. You want to cut it off on a solid surface normally, ideally. A lot of times I'll use my photo etch bending tool, not to bend in this case, just to have a solid surface to cut it on. I know a lot of the guys lately have been using their sonic sabers and to just cut these little connection points here on the photo etch runner here. So I'm going to use a knife though this time, just to show you in case you don't have a sonic saber, although normally I would use a sonic saber. So I'm going to come in here and just cut. All I'm using is the number 11 blade, so I'm actually just putting it against the one edge of the photo etch and then just drawing it across that piece like that. If you have a straight cut, you can a straight cut piece of or a straight cut blade, you can use that. Some people will have a bit of a curved one and they can rock it over. But yeah, there we go, that's one. And again. Yeah, through. It's done. And now the last one. Just like that. And then you can come along if you have a diamond file like they have from Tamiya. That'll work. You can take that diamond file or really any other file. You should be able to sand down those connection points to smooth this off. You could also use a sanding stick. Let's take my blue medium sanding stick here, and I'll just do that as well. And I can check. Yep, that works. So whatever you can you find you need to do, you know, whatever tool it is, be it sonic saber to cut or a blade, you know, or for sanding if it's going to be a sanding stick, or if you're going to use a diamond file like the Tamiya one, which is really good. Yeah, the options are yours. Just last side here. There we go. Okay, so put that aside, put that out of the way, and bring in, yes, that's our set there. So there we go. Check how it's going to fit. You can see it's going to fit in there really nice. So we know what we want now. We can drop that out. Now the photo etch actually has a more flat side and a detailed side. So clearly we want this side, the detailed side, to be up. Because with this side it looks like these bars are running across the tops of those, whereas this one they all look like they're the same size or same height. There we go. So what I'm going to do is figure out where my touch points are going to be. So it looks like it is matched up between these lines here running vertically through, and these vertical lines. So That's good. I can take my glue. Just a little CA glue here. I can spread on the tops of these. That will hold this in place. So again, there we go. And make sure we go in the right way. And there we go. I shouldn't really need any kicker. I'll just let it sit there and bite in naturally. Oh, if I stop playing with it a little, stay in the right place. There we have it. So a little bit of CA glue seepage coming out, but that's not a big deal. That will get covered by paint. But there it is, looking good. Okay, so we've got our grill in place, looking really good. This window back here has been redesigned by Cass over at Lake Monster Detail. Go check out Lake Monster Detail for lots of aftermarket accessories for your kits, your Star Trek kits, etc. Really does a great job at adding detail. If you're not using the BC deck, you know, there is then on the photo etch here from ParaGrafix, there is this window cover back here, which on the instructions show that it would go over that window because that's the style it was back there. This one here is more accurate to the movie, so we don't have to worry about that. So we're good on that. So again, go check out Lake Monster Details for all your aftermarket needs for, you know, resin, and go check out Will's YouTube channel, The Instance Chair. Really good builds on that channel. All right, I'm gonna let everything dry for now, and then we'll come back and do some more sanding. And putty. And sanding. And filling. And sanding. All right, so there we have it. It's all been puttied and it's been sanded. It'll still have to be matched up better with the top of the saucer. Once it gets closed up, that's fine. We got our little photo etch on back here. And I think that's going to be it for an episode. As you can see, there was a lot of sanding, a lot of filling, and back and forth many times to kind of get a result I was happy with. If my airbrush compressor was working, I would lay down a layer of like some black primer or something along in here just to see how good those seams are. I will do that here during the week, during the next episode here, during the week, and I will take a look at them and see if they need more work. But I think that's it for this episode. I look forward to seeing what Jordan's done this week. Remember, if you get a chance, go see Will at the Instance Chair. You can also look up the parts here from Lake Monster Detail, and of course watch Jordan's video to see the other side. Alright, now you guys take care. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.